This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27 here on our Thursday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We want to get right to weather this morning. That is the big news, as many schools are delayed or closed because of the icy conditions out there. Alyssa, it's really impacting a lot of communities to the north of downtown.
That's right. So we had some light icing kind of across I-70, and then areas north of I-70 and north of Crawfordsville are the spots that got the most snowfall. So those are likely the spots that we are going to see some of those delays, like you said. As you head out this morning, we are going to see some light drizzle out there on the roadways. Some of that could be light freezing drizzle, so we could see just a little slick spots as you head to work this morning. Temperatures just a little bit below freezing, and then we're staying below freezing as we head into the afternoon. We're going to see a lull midday where we just see some cloudy skies, and then we are going to see some light snow again later today, likely when you're going home after work. This is not going to be a huge snow event, but you are going to notice it. Not expecting a ton of accumulation or anything like that, but it is just in time for that evening commute. The good news is tomorrow things are going to dry out. It's still going to be cold this week, though.
Okay, Alyssa, thank you.
All right, Alyssa. We are following some violence from the overnight hours. This happened at Shady Oaks. 4 people there left dead, suffering from gunshot wounds. So more violence here in the Circle City. Police are working to figure out what all happened here.
Yeah, and this all unfolded after a meeting last night that IMPD was in attendance at, the Fraternal Order of Police was at, talking about the violence and whether or not the city should put together some type of coalition in order to figure out why crime is surging in the Circle City. So we do know right now that police do not believe there is a suspect on the loose. There is no risk for the public right now. We're still working out those details, but we are still working to learn more about what led up to that shooting.
In other news today, Go Red for Women campaign continues this month for American Heart Month. Don't forget to wear your red Friday. We want to remind you of that right now as you're figuring out what you're wearing the rest of the week. But first today, Kelsey Anderson has a story about a woman who made some small steps to make a big lifestyle change.
Yeah, 100 pounds loss. We're going to hear from this woman about how this changed her life and how it impacted her heart health. That is coming up later. And finally, we have a great Throwback Thursday for you. Barbara Boyd and the Magic Mirror.
Yes, so we're talking about the struggles and the time it takes to try on clothes when you're maybe at the department store. So here's a little special invention they thought would help save people time and the stress. It didn't last too long.
This was high tech for the 80s.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to see this story that's coming up in Throwback Thursday. Much more here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
For many months now, we have been sounding the alarms about the outrageous violence that is occurring in our community.
Police demanding more accountability from city leaders following a shooting on the northeast side that left 4 people dead.
Plus, we're halfway through the legislative session. We'll take a look at some of the bills that are still on the table and some that are dead.
And a 6th grader in northwestern Indiana is helping others with a simple act of kindness. We'll show you how she's bringing smiles to hundreds of Hoosier children in need of some help with local police officers. All right, it is 4:30 here on our Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Alyssa Donovan here with us, letting us know what we can expect as we step out the door this morning. I know last night I could hear that sleet hitting my windows. The roads were icy in some areas, and this is especially particular in the north.
That's right. So that's where a lot of the activity was overnight. We really got a little bit of everything the past 24 hours. We got some light snow, some sleet, some freezing rain, some regular rain, and as we head through the morning, we're just going to be left with the potential some light freezing drizzle and drizzle this morning. Can't really see that on our satellite and radar. Most of us are just going to see those cloudy skies, but you might see just some of that light drizzle as you head out this morning. So just be aware, because there might be some slick spots, especially areas that are seeing that freezing drizzle. What's going on right now is we have this low pressure system that's moving across across the area. We still have that winter weather advisory in effect this morning. That's going to be in effect until 10 a.m. this morning. We're not really expecting a ton more precipitation this morning from this system, but that is in effect just because of the roads being a little bit dicey as you head out today. We are going to see another round of snow showers coming in this afternoon, so most of our day is going to be dry, and then by the evening, just in time for your evening commute, that's when we're going to see the potential of some light snow moving back across the area. Not expecting a ton of accumulation from this, but it is something you'll notice as you're heading home today. Temperatures starting in the 20s this morning will climb into the low 30s this afternoon.
Alyssa, thank you. Here is a live look at your roads right now over on the near east side of town. You can see the wet roads out there this morning. Thankfully, traffic's moving along up to speed. And in the grass there, you can see some white stuff. That's a little bit of those snow flurries that we had in the overnight hours. Not really sticking to the roads too much, but again, there could be some slick spots, so use caution. Let's take a look over to the west side, I-465 and West 10th Street. Everything over here looks to be moving along up to speed. Keep in mind, especially if you're in those northern communities north of I-70, we have more than 80 school delays and closings right now. Those are all listed in the RTV6 app and scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Check that before you head out or send the kids to the bus stop. We begin with a developing story. This from the city's northeast side. Metro Police are working to figure out what led to a shooting that left 4 people dead.
The incident happened around 10:30 last night on the 4100 block of Shady Oak Drive near East 42nd and Mithofer Road. Officers found 3 men and 1 woman dead inside the home. They all appeared to be suffering from gunshot wounds. The identities of those victims or any possible suspects have not been released. The shooting is just the latest incident of violence in the past few days here in the Circle City, and it happened just about an hour after the Indianapolis City County Council voted not to create a new commission to research potential causes of crime in the city.
Well, that discussion attracted a big crowd, including members of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department and the Fraternal Order of Police. They spoke out in favor of creating the commission. For months now, FOP President Rick Snyder has been passionate about holding city leaders accountable to bring an end to the violence in Indianapolis. And the committee's decision was met with harsh words from Snyder.
We were before the Indianapolis City County Council Public Safety Committee begging our elected leaders to take swift action to confront this violence. We told them we are in the middle of a crisis, and we begged them to take action, and they refused on a party line vote.
Despite that feedback, the committee said existing resources and studies will be used to find solutions to crime and violence.
It is 4:34. Also this morning, a grieving mother is asking for your help to get justice for her daughter. 26-year-old Alexis Edwards was shot and killed just days after Christmas. This happened right outside of her home near 52nd Street and Georgetown Road on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Alexis's mother, Ruby Berry, believes that several people know who the alleged killer is because there was an altercation hours before that shooting. Ruby says that 4 people went to Alexis's home at 4 a.m. looking for her friend. After that, words were exchanged on social media. Now Ruby's asking anyone with information to please come forward.
Our whole family is devastated. It's horrible. It's just a horrible experience, and I just find it in your heart, if you know anything, please contact the police.
Alexis leaves behind a 3-year-old son who was also shot. Thankfully, he's okay now. The family has started a GoFundMe page to raise money for a reward to get information in this case. You can also leave an anonymous tip by calling Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
We have officially reached the halfway point of the 2020 legislative session. No new bills can be introduced, and anything that hasn't passed the first chamber yet will not be considered for the rest of the session.
So here's our scorecard of some of the bills that won't become law and some of the bills that still do have a chance. First, a bill that would prohibit people from holding their cell phones or electronic devices while driving in the Senate. The current distracted driving law only applies to texting and driving, and police say that's hard to enforce. It already passed through the House. If it passes the Senate, it will head to Governor Holcomb's desk. Also, there's still one bill alive that focuses on addressing teacher pay. It would let schools give teachers who are rated as improvement necessary on their evaluations to pay boost the following year. It would also allow schools to give bonuses to highly credited teachers or teachers in charge of special subjects and classes like special education, STEM, dual credit, or advanced placement classes.
And two bills that won't be considered: a bill that would require the Marion County prosecutor to charge people for marijuana possession or make other county prosecutors do it. Last year, Prosecutor Ryan Mears started a new policy where he won't prosecute for less than an ounce of marijuana. And a proposal that gives more accommodations to pregnant workers is technically still alive, but it was drastically changed this week. Instead of making employers give reasonable accommodations such as more seating or schedule changes, the bill calls for a committee to study the issue this summer.
Plans are moving forward on a big new development in the town of Speedway. It will include a hotel and a conference center. The Founders Square development is a 25-acre area on the northwest corner of Crawfordsville Road and High School Road. The hotel will be a Hampton Inn with 9,000 square foot conference center. A crew car wash could also go up. A spokesperson says the town is in final negotiations to land a national grocer. Infrastructure and utility improvements started on the site last week and are expected to be finished by the end of May. After that, the hotel and car wash are expected to break ground.
Here in Indy, some public transportation changes are in the works. Indigo is making improvements to the Red Line. In the coming months, audible crosswalk signals will be installed at the Red Line stations. This will help riders with visual impairments to cross the street safely. Also, Indigo is replacing the rubber medians along College Avenue and Meridian with concrete medians. Call 6 Investigates first reported that to you last fall.
It's 4:37 today. Family and friends and members of the racing community will gather here in Indianapolis for the funeral of veteran driver John Andretti. He died Thursday after a 3-year battle with colon cancer. He was 56 years old. Visitation starts at 10 a.m. at St. Peter and Paul Cathedral downtown and will continue until the funeral mass at 1 o'clock.
Indiana State Police troopers will be able to give kids a few more smiles thanks to a generous donation from a 6th grade girl. Addison Brown of Lowell started making smile bags when she noticed a classmate going through a hard time. The bags are given to police stations. Officers who encounter kids can then pass them out. They include things like tissues, books, toys, and handwritten notes of encouragement.
I just wanted to spread kindness to the world and other children that are going through hard things in their life.
So far, Addison has donated 300 bags to 7 different police departments. Her gifts are going to kids across 6 counties in the state.
Very cool. Well, a group of California firefighters now back home after helping battle the devastating bushfires in Australia. Up next, why they say this mission was extra meaningful.
And Jay-Z is breaking his silence why the rapper says he and Beyonce were sitting during the national anthem at the Super Bowl. Alyssa.
And we had quite a mix of precipitation overnight this morning. We're just left with some freezing drizzle and light drizzle across the area. And then we do have some more light snow showers heading into this afternoon. I'll break down the details coming up.
IndyChannel.com.
After a 3-week trial, the Senate has voted to acquit President Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. One Republican, Mitt Romney, voted with Democrats. Hours before the vote, Romney said he was crossing party lines because Trump was, quote, guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust. He also says it is his duty to vote to convict the president, calling the Trump's actions egregious and against the public's trust.
With my vote, I will tell my children and their children that I did my duty to the best of my ability, believing that my country expected it of me. I will only be one name among many, no more, no less, to future generations of Americans who look at the record of this trial. They will note merely that I was among the senators who determined that what the president did was wrong, grievously wrong.
President Trump is expected to give a statement on the impeachment trial later today.
It's 4:43. Newborn has tested positive for coronavirus just 1 day after being born. That's according to Chinese state media. The baby tested positive on Monday, 30 hours after being born in a hospital in Wuhan. The city has been ground zero for the virus. Health officials say the baby is now the youngest person with the confirmed case of coronavirus. The newborn is reportedly in stable condition and being monitored. The Wuhan coronavirus has claimed the lives of 563 people. Meanwhile, back here in the States, 2 more flights carrying evacuated citizens from China are expected later this week as the world continues to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Tuesday night, 2 other flights arrived in California. These passengers will all spend time in federal quarantine. For many, that will mean staying on a military base of up to 14 days. The government provides all the arrangements for food and shelter, but it doesn't come free. If an evacuee has health insurance, the government will bill them. Evacuees will also be billed for their flight out of China, and they'll have to make their own travel arrangements once the quarantine ends.
After a month down under battling wildfires, 20 California firefighters are now back home. The Angeles National Forest firefighters left for Australia just after the new year. They returned Wednesday, greeted by family and friends. The group spent several weeks working alongside the Victoria Rural Fire Service. Bushfires in Australia have scorched more than 27 million acres and killed 33 people. Millions of animals also died. The group says they were happy to repay Australian firefighters for their previous help. Firefighters from Australia deployed to California in 2018 to fight wildfires in the northern part of the state. Here at 444 in central Indiana, we've got a lot going on weather-wise.
That's right. It's been a bit of a dicey 24 hours. We've seen a few different types of precipitation out there this morning. We are going to see the potential of some light freezing drizzle as well as just regular drizzle across our roadways. So you might want to give yourself a little bit of extra time because that mixed with that precipitation that we saw overnight could cause some slick spots. We saw a little bit of everything overnight last night. We saw some sleet, some of that freezing rain, as well as some light snow. Most of that snow activity was to the north, but we did see some just trace snow amounts across Indianapolis as well. Temperatures this morning starting a little bit below freezing, so that's why we do have that freezing drizzle falling as well. Not picking that up on our satellite and radar, but that doesn't mean it's not falling. A lot of us are going to start with some cloudy skies today, and we're going to stay cloudy throughout much of the day before we have some more changes coming in this evening. Want to show you winter weather advisory still in effect this morning. That is until 10 a.m. for Indianapolis and then areas to the north. That's mainly due to just that precipitation that fell overnight. That means we do have that potential of some slick roadways this morning. Not expecting a ton more precipitation this morning, more actually this afternoon though. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to continue with this active weather pattern over the next couple days still. So starting cloudy skies today, and then we are going to stay cloudy and quiet through midday, and then we do have those light snow showers moving in this afternoon, evening, possibly lingering overnight into very, very early tomorrow morning. And then we are going to dry out briefly on Friday before we see more chances of some light snow come in late Friday and into our Saturday. So looking at Saturday, we have that potential of some snow showers continuing. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer. Seeing today into the mid-30s, and then we'll see some scattered light rain showers possible on Sunday. That's going to be a whole different low pressure system coming in, and it is going to take our temperatures up. We'll be into the low 40s Sunday, and then we are going to continue to see the potential of some precipitation as we head into next week. Today, however, we're starting with just that light freezing drizzle out there. We are going to see those winds just a little bit breezy this morning and into the afternoon, and then we will see mostly cloudy skies for most of the day. Temperatures climbing into the low 30s, so staying below freezing today, and then we do have that potential of those light snow showers coming in this afternoon and evening. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast tomorrow, 33 for the high, mostly cloudy skies by Saturday. We do have those snow showers moving in. Likely we'll see those late Friday night, and then we have some rain showers possible to start our Sunday and into Monday.
Alyssa, thank you. We're keeping a close eye on your roads this morning. There may be some slick spots out there. No problems here, though, on I-465 and Keystone Avenue to the north. Traffic's moving along up to speed in both directions, so let's take you down to the south side. Same story here. Traffic is picking up. Lots of headlights out that way at I-465 near the Harding Street exit, State Road 37. We'll continue to monitor any delays or crashes on your roads, and keep in mind we have more than 80 school delays and closings this morning.
A memorial is growing on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in honor of the late Kirk Douglas. The legendary actor, producer, and director died Wednesday. Douglas was born to Russian immigrant parents in 1916. He headed to Hollywood after serving in the Navy during World War II. Some of his most famous films include roles in Spartacus, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Champion. Douglas celebrated his 100th birthday in 2016 and was described by his guests as being in good shape, able to walk with confidence. According to his son, actor Michael Douglas, Indianapolis. Kirk died at his home at the age of 103 from natural causes.
Jay-Z is clearing the air, explaining why he sat during the national anthem at Super Bowl 54. TMZ posted video of him, Beyonce, and their daughter Blue Ivy sitting while Demi Lovato sang the Star-Spangled Banner, which sparked controversy online. Many thought it was a silent protest, but Jay-Z says that's not the case. He said he was distracted by his job. His company, Rock Nation, has partnered with the NFL. That includes producing the Super Bowl halftime show and other major performances. Jay says that he was evaluating the microphone levels and speaker layout. He also said that he would never put his young daughter in the position of being part of a protest.
It was a short run for John Legend. British newspaper The Daily Mail has crowned a new world's sexiest man, and that honor goes to Robert Pattinson. The publication says Pattinson meets the standard based on the so-called golden ratio of beauty called pi. According to the ratio, on a perfect face, the length of an ear is equal to the length of a nose, and the width of an eye is equal to the distance between the eyes. Pattinson's face came closest to that ratio at just over 92%. It was closely followed by Henry Cavill, Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, and George Clooney. Lauren and I already chatted about this.
We disagree. No. Well, you could say Hollywood's biggest night is just a few days away, and this year you can bet on the winners. Coming up, our Brad Brown is breaking down the favorites.
And coming up all new at 5, February is Heart Health Month, and we're focusing on stories that show the importance of monitoring your vital signs. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with the story of one woman's journey to a healthier lifestyle. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, prosecutors expected to wrap their case against Harvey Weinstein, the final accuser, finishing up cross-examination inside that courtroom. Then the question is, what evidence will the defense put forth in their defense of this man, Harvey Weinstein? We are live in New York City today on Court TV.
Vinny, thanks. Don't forget you can watch the all-new Court TV live right on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. It is 4:50. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hollywood's biggest night is this Sunday. The 92nd Academy Awards will be held in L.A., and there's some stiff competition.
Maybe you're in an office pool or just filling out a ballot for fun. But how about putting some money on the movie line? Well, now you can. Brad Brown has a closer look.
Since the 1st of September, sports gambling has been legal in Indiana, and it's already big business. Hoosier bettors have already wagered nearly $430 million, the biggest chunk of that going toward football and basketball.
As Oscar Sunday approaches, movie fans now have a chance to get in on the gambling game. Indiana is one of the states where you can legally place bets on all 24 categories for this Sunday's show. You could head down to the sports book to do it, or right here from the couch on your mobile phone, see if your picks lead to a big payoff this Sunday.
There are some huge favorites in some of the biggest categories. Joaquin Phoenix and Renee Zellweger in the Best Actor and Actress race. Both won at the Golden Globes, but there is some money to be made if someone else would win. Leonardo DiCaprio, a $10 bet would pay a $400 profit. It's the same story in the supporting acting categories. Brad Pitt and Laura Dern are heavy favorites on the betting line. Pretty much any other winner would add up to a nice payout. It gets awfully deep into the weeds after that. If you'd like to put some money on visual effects, sound editing, makeup, and hair, yeah, they'll take your money for all of that. And don't forget the popular parlay bets. You pair up multiple winners for a chance at a bigger payoff.
As a reminder, always wager responsibly, and remember, your safest bet is to simply sit this one out. You'll have more money for snacks next time you go to the theater.
Brad, thanks. The closest race looks to be for Best Picture. 1917 is a slight favorite on most lines to win Sunday's biggest award. New Jersey is the only other state taking legal wagers on the Oscars.
Yeah, bettors there placed more than $1 million on last year's show, so a lot of money up for grabs. And don't forget, RTV6 is your home for the Oscars on Sunday. It all starts at 1 o'clock with Oscars Countdown. The early festivities get underway then. The red carpet show starts at 6:30, and 8 o'clock is the big show. Then join us afterwards on RTV6 News at 11 with a recap of the night's big winners and the biggest moments. All right, so the award for the best forecast, not today.
Does not go to me.
Yeah, does not go to Alyssa.
No, I don't think so. We're not going to see a really nice forecast for a couple days yet. We still have this active weather pattern set up. This morning we'll see some light drizzle outside, and then we'll see a bit of a lull midday, and then some more light snow expected this afternoon and evening. Lingering overnight, temperatures today only reaching the low 30s. Probably won't even get to freezing point, and then we are going to see those chances of rain and snow over the weekend.